Welcome to Decker Tech. I'm Aaron Decker, and today we're going to talk about some of the maps in Across the Obelisk and which ways, what paths to take, what kind of quests and events you'll see there. Specifically, unlocks, kind of character interactions, maybe some items, and of course, the best route for high score if you're going at Madness 16. Now, the path, like for high score, really the biggest thing is the Madness level of the run you're doing. So you don't really have to worry about this path until you're on the highest Madness level, or if you just want to maximize experience so that you can get to level 5 before the twins, or certain level benchmarks before you hit certain bosses. And this is of course all in adventure mode. So let's take a look at the first map in adventure mode. So on this map, one of the biggest places of interest is the hatch. This is the mini dungeon in this map. There's about 7 or 8 more nodes in there, a couple of fights, there's an altar. There's a lot of stuff to be had in here. And with the hatch, to get in, you have to do some challenges to get in. Or if you have either Cornelius, he'll get in there for free. Or if you have Nezglek, I don't know his actual name, but I just call him Nezzy. Nez will have a high chance of success to get you in there. So Cornelius or Nez gets you into the hatch fairly easily. Or you can normally just suffer an injury to get in. And in there, Cornelius, if you have him, will give you a free upgrade at the altar. Or if you have the rope from one of the events here, that'll get you a boon if you go the other route. Because in there you can either go to the altar or you can go to the pit. And the pit will give you a boon if you have either Maluka or the rope. And if you have Cornelius, or you roll really high, you can use the altar on the top path. There's also a mini boss in there. He drops a lot of fire loot, really good for any Cornelius build, or I guess any fire build in general. But usually it's the kind of the self burn builds that benefit from going into the hatch the best, loot wise. But most of the time, going to the hatch is a really good call just for the experience. Experience means you level up sooner, you progress faster, and all the fights are easier later. Also, for high scores, experience is one of the big factors for a higher score. Highest scores are determined by bosses, number of nodes, and experience. And this has all three of those. This has a boss, more nodes, and experience. It's a good reason for high score. Character unlocks. So the starting zone has the 4 early characters. You can't see 2 of this: Otis and Cornelius. Cornelius and Otis are these 2 spots. If you don't have them, that'll do the quest to unlock them. If you do have them in your party, when you come along here, all of them are beneficial except for Heiner. If you come to this zone with Heiner in your team, it's actually bad. But these other 3, if you come to them with the person on the team, you get like shards or gold and stuff like that. So that's good. There's some quests to unlock pets here. There's quests to unlock the straw hat and start the treasure hunt. So up here, there's a hidden node that's not showing right now on mine. That'll start a quest line for a pet unlock. I don't want to give too much away, but that's the starting spot for it. Down here at the fishing lake, if it's the purple book and you just search the area for stuff interesting, that'll start the treasure hunt quest line for the straw hat. That's a pretty big deal and lots of fun. So that's where you start that. Also, this fishing contest, you can get boons and items and such. So it's a pretty fun place to be. Lost sheep. This is how you get Betty. This is one of the cheapest pets you can get and fairly powerful. So you have to kind of follow this quest line, do some interesting things to get the sheep. It also unlocks a couple other items like the golden fleece. You can't do both get Betty and the fleece on the same run, but those are fun. Those are interesting. Also, for high score purposes, Lost Sheep is one of the best ones because you can go to Lost Sheep and it'll bring you back up here to in front of the hatch, and then you'll go into the hatch. So that's a big deal. Hogger is the other boss in this area. Going for high score, you want to touch him. Otherwise, his loot's fairly okay. He's got a decent on-hit bleed. Otherwise, the loot's nothing to really write home about. But, I mean, boss fights are fun fights, and they're worth a lot of experience, so I usually go up there. Down here, there's a couple of quests that will lead you here for bonuses, like this Wolf in Distress. If you do the Wolf in Distress and then come up to this Wolf node, that'll give you a discount at the Werewolf stall. And then also, if you go defeat Belfir, that's the boss here in the hatch, come to this story node and then I think it's come down to the Forest Deeps. It might be, yeah, I think it's the Forest Deeps. There'll be some bonus loot there as well. So there's a couple cool things you can unlock. I think the biggest interactions is Cornelius makes the hatch super easy and powerful. Maluka gets some benefits in here, and Nezglik gets you in there a lot easier. Everything else is just depending on what kind of quest line or what reason you want to be here. So that should wrap it up for Act 1. Let me know if you have any questions. I kind of did that kind of fast, and I touched a lot, and I didn't say everything. So there's lots to be said about these paths. Normally, after you do Act 1, you'll eventually have 3 options. Right now we only have 2, the fire and the lightning. Eventually we'll have ice, but for the high score routes usually go fire next, so we'll just go there. On the fire map, there are 3 bosses. There's one in this cave. There's one in the Colosseum, and there's the Harpy up here. Plus, of course, the main boss. So for the high score route, usually you'll just go this top route. You'll go up here, do the Colosseum, gets you a boon, really nice. You go across here, you'll do the other boss, and then you go to the final boss. It's roughly the same amount of nodes. It's usually the most nodes as well, but it's really just the 2 boss fights and the boon from the Colosseum are really big deals. Notable spots, down here, one of the quests, I don't think it's the default one, I think it's one of the blue books, is the requirement for one of the new pets. Down here are some nodes related to some other pet quest lines. This node right here, one of the quests will be a pet trainer. That'll allow you to upgrade your pets to their second tiers. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend trying it at least once. Each of the pets has some really strong upgrades. If you haven't tried an upgraded Sharpie yet, I highly recommend that. That's a lot of fun. There is sometimes I think it's a purple book here, I'm not sure. One of the quests over here will be an opportunity for someone on your team to get an extra bonus starting card. So, for Wilbur, that's the duplicate, that's a twin scroll, get another spell. For Cornelius, that's his fire attack based on his self-burn. So those can be some really powerful options depending on your team comp. Really strong cards there. This node is actually a bad node to have. Unless I'm doing it wrong, it's a problem. It's gonna burn you. This node's not always here. The Kazakh Doom here, let's see, Kazumdar, Kazakh Doom, Kazumdar. It's the same thing, let's be honest. This is related to the treasure hunt quest line. You either need to go to the blue biome, which we don't have, go here to under the mountain, or you need to have Wilbur in your team. One of those 3 is the way to unlock, is one of the requirements for the Straw Hat quest line, so that's a big deal. Also in here is, I think, the Tower Shield. If you're looking to get that on either Heiner or maybe one of your DPS that you want to have slower and have lots of resists. This altar up here, I think Evelyn and Wilbur both can make it happen for free. Otherwise, it's a high mana cost challenge. So me, I rarely go here because I rarely have those 2 mages in my group, and I always have low cost decks. But it's a fun node to hit up if you have either of those mages or a high cost deck. There's some cool fights to be had here, some gear unlock. The Raging Beast is guaranteed to have the Red Cloak, which is a taunt item without the negative resistances. So if you've seen the Hourglass of Death and been like, man, I wish I could run that, but I hate the minus resists, you can just go to the Raging Beast and get a taunt item here, which is a lot of fun to play with. I don't know what I'm missing on this. If you have any questions, let me know. I think I covered most of this. There's some character unlocks that you don't see here that will show up if you've done the right criteria in Act 1. Otherwise, what you see is what you get. And let's move on to the next zone. So depending, you can do these in either order. I usually go fire then lightning, but you could go lightning then fire. I say lightning, but it's also poison, right? So swamp. So let's just start with high score route as usual. High score route, what you'll do is you'll go through this area. You'll hit here, you'll go east, you'll go battle. Actually, here on the East Village, there's a lot of options. If you're going high score, I usually do the Steel because that'll trigger an extra combat later, which is nice for the score. But you'll go here, you'll go to the war, you'll go here, you will not get a boat. You'll come back to the bridge. You'll do one of these nodes, the healing if you need it. Otherwise, the tough choice has some options for experience in a fight, which is good. You'll come here, you'll get an extra combat for having stolen stuff from the village. And then you'll go into this zone's mini dungeon. Mini dungeons are great. They have bosses, they have lots of nodes, they have experience, they have loot. They're fantastic. So all the high score routes are always going to go to the dungeons. Although, to be fair, there's an alternate route that's fairly close in score if you need different items path. But Spider Lair, you have a lot of sight and poison items in here. There are 2 pet unlocks in here. One of them requires visiting the broken boat to get. Another one just requires you to pass a challenge. So Thools will get you into the Spider Lair without an injury. Otherwise, you're likely to get an injury if you don't have a high costed deck. And you have to succeed that challenge or have Thools to unlock the spider pet. And then you also have to pass another challenge where you have to have either a Heiner or a Grookly, I think will auto-succeed it. Otherwise, I don't know what the challenge is, but there's a quest line to get into a secret area, which is where you can find the pet. Let's see, otherwise in that, up top, this is actually another pet unlock. This one, Thools can pass automatically, or I don't remember what the challenge is, but Thools will do it automatically. To get here, though, you have to visit the Crockman Mafia. This is the only path up this way. This is where you'll get Maluka as well. She's in my party right now, so you can't see her. This is a Maluka unlock, so if you have her in your group when you come by, it's free stuff. If you don't have her, she'll give you the quest to unlock herself. To unlock her, though, you have to have beaten Belfier. That's the boss in the hatch in Act 1. So that'll unlock her. This pet, we already mentioned the pet. And then to do the Crockman Mafia, you either have to have this trophy, you have to have a VIP card. There's a couple items that'll give you a boat for free, or you have to do a 1,000 gold to buy it, or a high mana cost challenge to beat them, to bet against them to get the boat for free. And that'll unlock this top path, which, like I said, is for this pet node when it's there, or for Maluka related stuff. There's some unique items here also for Maluka. There will be a pet trainer as well, I think right here, that is not showing sometimes. There's some unique quest lines here and here. One of these, I don't remember which one, will do the Trident, which is useful for any lightning or wet build. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's the main temple. There's also some unique events that happen on both these nodes, which are fun to visit. Don't really affect much in the game. And then the alternate quest line, path that also hits a boss. Because so in the mini dungeon, there's the spider boss, and there's also a boss up here at the Fisherman Hut. This guy has some unique items related to madness and poison. Oh, and on-hit bleed. And also, the pufferfish is a lot of fun. That's an accessory item that draws you cards and does poison in a splash area. To get there, the path I usually prefer is you'll come down here to the outskirts, you'll go to the East Village, and in the East Village, you'll want to just search without stealing anything. That'll give you the notes and mention a reward. So then you come here, help the Crockman. You mention, hey, I saw you wanted a reward or whatever, right? What's the reward? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a free boat. And you go down here, you get the free boat, and then you go up to this path, and then you visit this Naga mural, and the notes that you stole from or that you copied from the village will allow you to pass this event for free. I think Evelyn will also do it as well, and that'll give you a boon that dispels lightning, which is fantastic. And then you come up here, you defeat the boss, and you come down to this other quest line here. If you skip the boss, you can come down to this antique shop, which has a couple of unique items for unlocking certain achievements. I don't remember what else is here other than the cracked wall. But you see this question mark, this is part of my... This save has the treasure hunt going on. So in the fire biome or the ice biome, you have to get a certain item, whichever one you choose. But you always have to come to this biome to do this part of the treasure hunt. I'm not going to give too much of that away, but you do something here, and that'll do the next step. And then, of course, you come down to the boss and do the boss move on the zone. This is where you unlock Grookly. He's one of the warriors. Maluka will do this event for free. Getting fish from the fishing event in Act 1 will pass this event, and or your healers can have a chance of passing this event to unlock Grookly. These nodes down here are always hazard nodes. Depending on who you have in your team, there are some really hilarious options of how to get past these events. I recommend coming by this area with Otis and seeing what happens. I think it's this one. I think it's the Great Waterfall, which has a fun Otis one. Lots of fun. I'm pretty sure the frog minstrel that unlocks eventually will be here. There's a node currently in the game that sometimes shows up here, but he's not in the game yet. And yeah, what did I miss? I think that's everything here. This is like I said, this is Thul's is really good at the zone, and Maluka does a bit in this zone. All right, moving on to the next one. By the next one, I mean I'm not going to show it because I don't have enough saves and I don't want to spoil too much Act 4. In Act 4, there is a top path which will be used for a character unlock and some item unlocks. There's a bottom path, which is for a character unlock and some shopping. And then the middle path is for the treasure hunt quest line, which you had to have checked some boxes in all the previous acts that we've already mentioned to get through that and get the final treasure for the treasure hunt, which is pretty sweet. For high scores, though, usually in Act 4, you'll go the top route and visit the library. There's a default option there that is worth a lot of experience. And like I said, experience is score. Also, experience helps you level up faster. So you can get to if you follow the high score route, you'll be level 5 before you fight the twins. If you've had any trouble with the twins, I would recommend trying the high score route. Get to level 5 before them. Get those sweet level ups, and make the twins fight a lot easier. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this video was useful and short enough to actually watch. I caught myself babbling a couple times. Yeah, I will catch you later. Peace.